Testing. Oh, my mic's off, huh? No, it's on. Cool. Bang. Alright. No one in the chat. That's fine for now. I'll get this moving. Get it moving quickly. We're gonna get this full screen. And we're off. I'm still with this idea. I think that we're now confirmed this is now an impulse, so I'm gonna keep that there. That's no longer important. Okay. Okay. All right, my friends. In my opinion, on Ethereum, let's go stretch. Get the blood flowing. Anyways, in my opinion, man, we're gonna start with ETH instead of Bitcoin, and usually we start with Bitcoin. In my opinion, we created 5UP. It's very valid to me. One thing that hasn't happened is typically what you expect to happen in an impulse, and you like. It's kind of a hard, not a hard guideline or a hard rule, but it's pretty strong enough. It's strong enough for you to really be wary about any counts or Elliott wave counts that you do that turns into an impulse, and none of the 5 waves, being 1, 3, and 5 at least, are an extension of their sister waves, which are all the other impulsive waves. So meaning, typically, it's wave 3. Wave 3 being 1.618 of wave 1 or greater. In crypto, it's very common for wave 3 to go to 2.618, honestly. But so when one of the waves doesn't hit an extension amongst the other waves, because it could even be where wave 1 is, say some distance, and then wave 3 is it's over a 1-to-1 of wave 1. Wave 4 does not retrace into wave 2 territory, and wave 5 actually turns into an extension, and it's has a relationship of both 1 and 3 together to get to its logical turning point, which makes it an extension. So that may very well happen here, and that's something I kind of want to believe. Well, I actually want to believe it pretty heavily. But one thing I will say for a fact, though, is that we're bullish on the high daily time frame. Well, I'll say 3-day maybe, or weekly time frame. I think we're bullish. Look for alts that haven't popped like Ethereum. Ethereum already popped, not a lot, but it popped enough. See if I want to talk about BAT. So I'm gonna actually fly the coins I want to talk about today. Talk about ETH. Talk about Bitcoin, obviously. Talk about BAT. And I'll let one viewer pick one coin. If no one pops in my chat, then that's your fault. No one gets, we won't come another one. It might be like Sol or something, because, I have a bot that runs on Sol, so I might as well do it. So let's go Sol. So these are the 4 coins we talk about. So no matter what happens, just say this is like a fake out, whatever, we kind of reject like this, douche. Well, regardless of what happens, it's gonna be a bullish pullback. We don't really know what. Let's see here. Let me double check real quick. Let me see. Yeah, if this is 5UP like this, guys, it has to only be has to turn into one thing and one thing only. Or it has 2 options, but regardless, it's gonna give us kind of the same idea. Just say this happens, right? I really believe that this neckline here, I'm just gonna say call it a neckline. It's not really traditional head and shoulders, but whatever. There's very obvious level of support now. We flipped it, it's holding time. We flipped it. It also lines up pretty well at the 0.5. See that here? The 0.5 of this move up, which I already have it labeled right here. It's already had it drawn up. Actually, it's literally right on par with the. It's pretty damn near, right? So, I really believe that we need to sustain 1,280, 1,240. That's just my opinion, hardcore. If we start trading below that, I get really nervous and start really thinking that maybe I was very wrong with my idea. But for now, I think you're going to sustain this area no matter what, and this is going to turn into either a zigzag, ABC, or an impulse 1 through 5. We don't know yet. So if it's going to be a zigzag, it's going to have to take on specific characteristics. It should take up a lot of. It should be very aggressive. Wave C should at least hit a 1-to-1. If not, it should. Honestly, in all honesty, it should be greater than a 1-to-1. But I've seen them end at 1-to-1s or near it. But we should at least at a bare minimum anticipate a 1-to-1 if it's going to be a true zigzag. And the reason why we believe this is because it's 5 up, and corrective rule patterns state that the only again in Elliott waves we got zigzags, we got flats, we got double zigzags, double threes, triple zigzags, triple threes, contracting triangles, and expanding triangles. And then if you want to really get funky and tricky and get really like super technical, then you got diametrics, and neutral triangles and stuff like that. But I don't really talk about much of those because that's just more complex things that you don't really have to understand. This usually when I draw a diametric or a neutral triangle, it takes place of a triangle, and I just draw it up in a triangle. So, corrective rules state that the only patterns that can give us 5 up, or is rule state the only pattern that give us 5 up with a corrective face to the backside are zigzags and impulses. Okay, so with a zigzag, we should sustain, in my opinion, as at least a 68% level of retracement. But 68 down here, I'm arguing just because this level is very obvious level of support. I'm gonna say 0.5, the 0.5 here. So anticipating that this is the top here, we retrace, everybody gets really bearish. Oh no, we're gonna fall down and go to 0. Blah blah blah. Scared. That's not gonna happen. I count 5 up. Sure, I could be wrong. This could be like a weird 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but I just don't believe that. Let's look at some of the points here. Bitcoin holds that. I'm looking across the board to see if this low here gets broken on one of the alts or Bitcoin or on anything. That's total. That one's very close. Let's do that. I don't really trust XRP's charts ever, honestly. That low was created on July 13th. July 13th. Okay. Let's go back. Alright, so this is why I really think that on a lower time frame, once certain levels start breaking down, looking for a short would be wise. I took a head short last night, overnight, that ended up having to close this morning. Once it broke this high, I had to close it immediately. I actually took a long that I'm considering closing right now, just because I don't really trust this market structure here. I think this is all just going to start correcting and being really choppy to the downside. But regardless of the fact, I count 5 up, and I'm going to use this with my knowledge of Elliott wave and support and resistance that as long as we sustain, 1280 to 1240, create a 3-way pattern, that we're definitely going to come and possibly hit like 20, definitely 2100, and possibly 2500, 2600, and maybe beyond. Remember, typically you in a zigzag you expect it to go beyond a 1-to-1. Here's a 1-to-1 of this initial move up. If this is indeed the top, we can't. It's too early to say for sure. I do like the idea that it might be because divergences on a daily. We got some decent divergence here. This little value right here tells me this was definitely a significant wave, like a wave 4 some sort or something like this. So see that kind of like double top here in the 4-hour, right? And volume on a daily. Not really there either, right? Coming into resistance, right? So this is definitely not the area to be longing on a higher time frame. You would have to be on a lower time frame, hourly, 15-minute time frame, 5-minute time frame even, to be safe, because if this is truly a fifth wave, it's going to catch a lot of people on the wrong side. Because once this concludes, this entire move will get erased. So, and this could be the conclusion now. We don't really know for certain. The reason for that is because this is 5 up here. Look at that, it's 5 up, right? Fits all the rules. Almost hit that 1618 extension, but it broke. Fits the criteria though. Alteration in structure. It went upwards in pressure. This was downwards. And so far, very choppy sideways action, right? So it could get a lot of people on the wrong side, but it's very, very simple for me. If this high here gets broken, that tells me that this most likely, if this count here is correct, which I think it is, this is turning into the extension we're talking about. And the way we play it, this is not to say like, oh, we're going all in 100x fucking to the moon, blah, blah, blah. No, it's not to say that, because we can still be wrong. There can still be something that I'm missing that I'm not seeing, right? It could possibly turn into like a fucking diagonal, right? Like a weird 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ending expanding diagonal, which I will know is forming once highs break and stuff and structures are happening. At this moment, I don't know. We don't know, right? So it's very simple. We break this high here, and if volume flies in, we know we can hold on to that trade and target these upper levels, right? If we say we do form that diagonal, that could possibly happen, the ending expanding diagonal, which are very rare. They're like, I honestly think I don't even think it's a pattern. Honestly, I'm trying to think. I know leading expanding diagonals are a thing, but I don't think an ending expanding diagonal is a thing. So that may be false news potentially. So the rules of expanding diagonal is wave 1 will always be the longest. Wave 3 will definitely obviously not be the shortest. Wave 5 will be the shortest. Wave 5 will also not hit. Actually, no, this is false. This can't be right. In expanding diagonals, wave 1's the shortest, and wave 5's the longest. I need to double check on that rule. So if we break that high, I'll be more confident that since that rule I'm trying to think of, it applies that wave 5's the longest on expanding diagonals. And this would have to be that if this is going to be anything bearish, because the degree of correctiveness this has taken in terms of time and structure it's too great to say that there's anything else in this structure rather than either starting a complete downward structure to the downside or 1, 2, and it's going to be 3, 4, 5. Those are the only two options I can see logically because there's no such thing as an ending and expanding diagonal that has wave 1 as the longest. It's not real. It's not a real pattern. Even on a leading expanding diagonal, wave 1's not the longest. Wave 5 is the longest. Wave 1's the shortest. Wave 3 is the second longest. Wave 4 typically takes the most. Is the harshest in terms of correctiveness and is the fastest. Wave 2 takes like a lot of complexity, a lot of time, and then wave 5 that never hits the top or lower boundary that connects the tops or bottoms of wave 1 or wave 3. So if we were to break this high, I'd be more confident that this is going to turn into this extension here, which is what we typically will look for, right? Anyways, because the general rule of thumb is that in your impulse, in the true impulse, you get an extension at least one of your legs, and currently we don't have one in this structure. We just don't have one, right? Hit 1, 2, 3, 6, but that's not an extension. That could be a flat, but it's not a flat because we broke the high here, right? So if this is going to be an extension, then wave 5 will take your relationship between of wave 3 and on 1, and that relationship tends to be this thing right here, 618 area. Can get to a 1-to-1 though, but that's very rare. What I like is that we seem to be accepting. I see people's comments popping up. I'll check it on right now. Okay, just give me a moment. No problem. Yeah. Thank you, Monica Cost, for double downing with me on that. Yeah, expanding diagonals wave 5 must be the largest, and it also will not ever touch the upper boundary or lower boundary that connects the tops and bottoms of wave 1 and 3. Those are two hard rules. So, since we can throw that out the water, we could pretty logically say that if we break the high here, that it's probably going to do this. Okay? And the reason why we think that is because, first of all, the corrective pattern, that the bearish pattern we're looking for, is not a valid pattern, first of all. Second of all, is you typically look for an extension in a true impulse, and it looks like Ethereum's an impulse. Very impulsive behavior so far. You know, way too very sideways, right? Takes a lot of time. Wave 4, which I think starts here, ends here. It goes A, B, C. The reason why I believe that is because this is, to me, this 1, this is 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is like a weird truncation here, and then there's like so much compression here. And then here, and this was 5 here, and this was 3 here, and A, B, C, right? So, it takes a lot of time. Sideways, this took a very little time, and it was sharp in terms of like the structure of it, right? So there are two alterations, right? Third alteration, the percentage of a correction. This was deep, right? Even though it was a sideways correction, it was a deep correction still, right? This wave, if this is going to be wave 4, it was it was exactly what you look for. It was sharp, quicker, but the alteration with the depth of retracement was there as well. So you got three things of confluence, I guess you can say, saying that this is most likely an impulse. Even though wave 3 didn't hit your typical 1618 extension. That leaves the door open for wave 5 being the extension, which is, in crypto, you tend to see wave 5 do that. It's because crypto's a lot of emotional traders that tend to buy in at the last, they chase things, FOMO, and all the leverage and stuff like that. So when after everybody sees wave 3 pop off, and since there's like so much leverage, and most players are noobs, they're all sitting on their hand and tail to see wave 3 pop off, wave 4 consolidation. Then that's when everybody gets in, creating a very similar scenario to wave 3, or not becoming the extension itself. So I wouldn't be this right now is my primary. Again, I had a short open from these levels right here yesterday, but I had to cover it about right here, and I made a very minimal amount of money. Like it fucking basically like $40, something like that, right? So it wasn't anything crazy. It was like a hedge to start laddering into more of a position, because if we started breaking down levels, and I've got my first short up here, broke down below this level. If we break down below this level at 1600, then I'll short again down here somewhere, and then by that time I'll know that we're in a wave somewhere, right? Then we're just gonna wait for this bounce. It's gonna bounce up, jump it down, target there. Break the high though, my friends. I think this takes off. Okay, let's go to Bitcoin. So my initial Bitcoin idea was that this was initial A wave. This is going to be an A, B, C in here, but this structure here was too impulsive. It looks too much like a 5-wave pattern, so I have to throw this away. We got the move correct, that we're going to move up from the lows, but now it's taking shape that this just looks too impulsive. Unfortunately, with Bitcoin, there could be a lot that could be said with it. A lot that could be said with it, honestly. Because it's definitely not in an impulse like Ethereum. It's not. We're in a correction. That's why, no matter what, when it's all said and done at the very, very end, maybe this could be wrong, could be, we could be completely wrong. But if this is truly corrective phase right here, when it's all said and done at the very, very end of things, we'll end up breaking these lows at some point in our life. It might take fucking months, maybe a year, just depending on what structure it develops after this. We really don't know. We can only speculate. But for now, it just looks like Bitcoin is not in an impulse like Ethereum is. It's very channeling. Very much what you anticipate a corrective phase to look for. Two structures come in mind. Let's get the volume out quick. So WXY. So if Ethereum ends up extending, the only thing I don't like is how doing some studies here. That works. Yeah, there's a lot to be said. That's unfortunate, man. Yeah, Bitcoin's a little bit more messy. So initially, I wanted to say that this could be a WX and we're in a Y here, like this. This would be I think this would be too bullish, though. It'd be too bullish. Can you get this extension, then you get a consolidation, then another extension? I think that'd be too much going on. That would cause ETH to if that were to happen, that would cause ETH to just straight blow out the waters, which wouldn't make sense with this current structure. And also, this X wave, it takes too little time in comparison to this entire structure to say that. And also, this X wave does not break this lower boundary. So 3 things that don't work. So we're throwing that. That's not it. So that leaves a few patterns for us. This could be W, X, Y, and this is A, B, C. I like the ABC because we hit a very minimal extension here. So this turns into a Y, X, Y this way. W, X, Y. And I like this better. I'll tell you why right now. Want to know why? Because this bottom trend line gets broken briefly. You usually get, that's a guideline for an X wave that you get overthrow. Or underthrow, whatever you want to call it. Okay. So, and remember, typically X waves are faster. Very, very, like, make people think they're very much look like impulses a lot of the time, get people very confused, especially a lot of alley wave traders, even me at times. It makes me think that it's actually an impulse. It's not. It's fucking just a very triple combo or some weird ass complex shit. So, quicker, but it has to maintain a 1/3 rule of time or price. Very close to that low here. We obviously know it retraces greater than 30%. But I like this one better because we have overthrow. This one we only hit the criteria of retracement. The other two didn't hit. We got overthrow and we got retracement. So this makes a lot more sense. And we're in a channel. So last thing we're looking for. You typically assume that a YXY is going to, in terms of time, will take symmetry. Anticipate about this area for a high to be made. And so this makes a lot of sense if Ethereum can extend. So far this here looks like it wants to try to like break over and break above, but I'm not going to be the one to say like, dude, longest on the 4-hour chart up into this trend. I just can't do that, man. You would have to go into a lower time frame to find entry and do it that way. But to me, it looks promising that this could do this. For sure. I actually like this count a lot better than anything I've ever proposed so far. This turns into here's the time aspect we look for. The 1-to-1 starts here. Here's the maximum time we would assume for a Y wave if WXY if it takes on this shape. And you anticipate this being a zigzag too, because usually, as a rule of thumb, and a rule of alteration for YXYs, if W is a flat, which this is very much a flat. This is a flat. This is a flat. If W is a flat, Y most likely won't be, leaving us with two patterns, right? A triangle or a zigzag. As long as it doesn't go past 68%, which I believe it did not. Look, perfect 61% retrace. So we held the bottom side retracement rule. So now we anticipate that B wave, C wave will get to a 1-to-1. Is this going to be true? A 1-to-1 is about here. With you anticipate usually. I know.
That would be our actual target, in my opinion. This area here. To me, that's like a no. Oh no, it has some decent confluence with this area, I guess. I'm gonna mark this red. It should be resistance. All right. So now that we have all this studied, well, how the fuck do we use it to our advantage? That's the issue with alleyway, right? How the fuck do you use it to your advantage? Again, like, how can I tell you? By here, what if we retrace down here? The pattern's still gonna be valid. Okay, so this is very simple, guys. Break the high. I think this is definitely happening. Get in. Find a way to get in. Find some holes. For now, I prefer us retracing a little bit more. If this wave one's done, I'm assuming this is going to turn into like a YXY, some weird combo shit. The amount of time this has taken in complexity is too little for me to say this is we're moving up immediately. The only way that happens is if I have like I just for some reason I'm just not seeing something. But to me, it's just like this looks like a completely five-way pattern. We're gonna come to at least here, and I can see us correcting the entire weekend basically. What's today? What's the date, dude? Holy shit! It's 29th. 29th, 30, 31, 32. Oh, wait. 32, I'm an idiot. August 1st, fool. August 1st. Label it. Right there. I can see that. I can see us retracing to that amount of time. As long as we do not take the same amount of time as this thing in here. So we have a maximum amount of time we could take. Cannot be bigger than the subwave is corrected. So we don't want it to take into relationship of this, which will be here. So beyond that level, which I'm going to mark red, is when we're wrong with time, and we should anticipate that this is going to go lower. Okay. Because Bitcoin could do whatever it wants. I don't trust Bitcoin. I don't know what Bitcoin could turn into. A lot of things. This could turn into a triangle. It could turn into a triangle, and this being a wave, right? Bitcoin, we don't know. Ethereum's a lot more logical of trading in terms of Elliott wave. There's a lot less things that could happen with Ethereum. There's a lot more things that could happen with Bitcoin. It makes it very hard to really believe and stay with an idea. Sorry, I need to check. Someone called me. So, again, just because I'm definitely with the idea we're in a YXY, but we have to make sure, like, dude, we can still have a stupid ass triangle form here. I don't think it's gonna happen. It's less likely. I believe so. Okay, this could all be a wave. This is the way time's looking. It just looks like it'll be almost impossible in terms of time. It's because like the max time for that WXY to conclude would be here, roughly, give or take a few days, and it just looks like it wouldn't work. Like A, B, C being a wave, because this is a 5-wave pattern, and it broke the high, so you can't say like this is A, B, this is C, this is D, this is E. You can't say that because it broke the high. So the only thing you could say that this could be is that, flat, not flat, zigzag. More logically, zigzag. Sorry, I'll fix that right now. A, then you got a B in here. I just think it would take too much time. I need to look at the guideline for how much the maximum amount of time you can allow for this. But I know for like if it's going to be a symmetrical one with it being a flat to a zigzag, zigzag to a flat, it typically you won't will not overthrow by 1/618 of the first W wave you were studying, which is this here. But if we start forming this triangle here, I get a little worried. Let's see. I don't trust Bitcoin. All I'm gonna say though is that even whatever happens here. So say we do this. So say we go deuce, right? We go A, B, C. Well, this is a buy. I don't think that will happen, but the reason why I would say that is because Ethereum is five up. It's 5 up. So if Bitcoin started to retrace on that degree, then that means Ethereum's retracing in that degree too, which will be this move here, being B wave away too. So that means Bitcoin this also must be an intermediate corrective phase of the first initial move up. I don't think this pattern's gonna happen like this. I think it's more likely gonna unfold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then A, B, C, new established floor. Sorry, we have so many lines now. It's kind of like chicken scratch now. Just kind of shut up quick. So just delete some stuff so I'm not so confused. 2, 3, 4, 5, and then A, B, whatever, C, then again, we don't know what this is going to do. I just know that, I just don't know, but I assume logically, since Ethereum will take 5 up, at the conclusion of this fifth and final wave, which will be here or somewhere in here on Bitcoin, we'll be in an intermediate 3-wave corrective phase or a triangle, depending on what it is, B wave or wave 2. And that means that no matter what, on the other side of Bitcoin, turn into a buy, either C wave, A, B, C, which will probably unfold that way, or a WXY, and this will turn into 3-wave pattern. So, those are the ideas. I'm thinking of this most logically. Keep the slow grind up. Get everybody fucking like chasing. Cause all this here with shorts getting washed. Nobody was confident in buying anything down here. Only the real fucking bally traders and really people who really have like big money were buying in here. Nobody was really confident in here. Everybody was really getting washed out with shorts and shit. So all this shit was shorts getting covered. I think you'll start getting the FOMO buyers coming in, and then they get washed out, and then the process starts over again. That is my idea. And take a swig of this good old OJ. Take a bite of my plum, and we get it rolling to the BAT. Cause I think this chart looks juicy. Juicy. Hold on, quick intermission. I need to pee. Sorry, friends. Hold on. Dang, I wanted to put on the music for you, but I can't find it. It disappeared. There it is. Right back.
do that right now. Almost done with this. Sorry, guys and girls. Oh shit. All right, come back. Lower this music. Our last song was fire. It sounded like. Probably copyrighted though. Back to transition. Dang. Woo. All right, man. That's it. Like it looks bearish, right? Like, oh, they're coming for these stops. They could be. What about these stops? They could be. So it's again, it's really trying that you can't really know. But man, if we were really bullish, like if Bitcoin could really do it and Ethereum could really pull what you're gonna pull these extensions, whatever you want to call them, then that means the rest of the market, while those two coins are cooling down, are gonna fucking run it. I'm pretty positive this is A or 1, this is 2 or B, and we're gonna be in a C wave. A, B, and C, right? Or even you could even argue 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there as well. Either one. Either one's fine in my opinion. Right? So, at a bare minimum, right, we know it's going to be a three-way pattern. And if we already had the first initial move up, we can assume that the second wave is going to be a 1-to-1, if not greater, which usually are greater, of that same pattern. There's a better chart. So this is the oldest chart I can find on BAT. I don't know if anyone knows a better chart, but it's the furthest one I can find. To me, I count 5 up here. On another chart, this low breaks this low. So one could argue 2 counts, this could be A, B, C. This would be the more bearish count. Well, this is A, B, C. This is A. This is B. This is C. And we're just going to stay in a big, BAT was continuing to just go sideways forever type of shit. Or this is just like we can't see the rest of the data, whatever. This is 5 up. This is A, B, C. We sustain levels better. And this ends up being an impulse. Regardless of the fact, we're hitting a pivot point on multiple of these counts. And logically, it makes sense to want to long these, especially the way we reacted off the lows. When we dive in here too, daily, we got 1 up, 2, 3, 4 in territory, 5. Is that a diagonal? Possibly. Regardless of the fact, though, I'm really confident that the first initial move up here, whether you calling it a high here or here, I want to say it's here. It's an impulse, it's the start of a new trend, intermediately or significantly. At a bare minimum, if this is 5 waves down, anticipate a third or third. So a third price and time. Here's time. So yeah, at least at a bare minimum, a 30% gain at a bare minimum. But I argue it'd be way greater because we're pressed against. Press against this resistance here, and we're just gonna press against it. That's not bearish. It's bearish if we reject and fall off, below a level. But we held this level here. Right? So I'm thinking it's going to be a greater expansion than just this little dead cat bounce here. I'm one to argue that it could even potentially hit 0.5 on a rebound before we can consider a top or whatever. So if this is 5 down, that is pretty alarming because it only opens up the door for a few things, right? It could be the possibility that maybe this is the A, this is the B, this is C. Let's see on extension wise what it says. That could work. I could be wrong. This is like this. I would know. It just depends on where we go. If we reject this midpoint here at 0.73, fall lower, then we know that's not right. But 5 down gives us opportunity for the zigzag, which we can get up here. Or the 5 on 5, where this is actually this actually turned into 5 up. And then we get to go like that. It just all really depends on where when you start talking about like Elliott wave in the larger scope of things, that's why you start throwing up a lot of ideas. That's why I'm trying to stick to a decently smaller degree of things. In the middle of things, I would rather say, because like this could turn into a zigzag here. This could also turn into a giant 5, and then this is it's a long B wave like this, and then like that. This could be the correction here. We start a new impulse here. I actually kind of like that pattern. It just depends. Like we don't see this data, so can't really judge. But if this is like the corrective phase here, like maybe this is 1, this is like a weird 2 here, 3, 4, then this is 5. But again, too far in the future in time to be able to really say what's going to happen, especially since we have too many things that could logically say happen at this point. All we know that we could say, in my opinion, logically from this low point is that we should at least, by our bare minimum, have another chance at 25 to maybe like 50% increase from these levels. ABC at a bare minimum. And a maximum turns into a true impulse. Don't really think that's going to happen, but if this happens, this will really start opening up the door for like obviously a lot better things for us moving into the future. And I'm pretty confident like in the coming year of that time we'll be able to break the all-time high on this coin. But until now, all we're gonna assume and expect is a 3-way pattern ABC. But beyond that, I'm not sure. But I think we can confidently say this could possibly happen here. And that's a good gain right there. I'm definitely going to be watching for BAT on a lower time frame, stuff like that. Look for entries, logical entries, looking for impulses and stuff like that. Consolidation above areas, all that good stuff. God, stretch. Ugh. So there are only 3 coins I kind of wanted to talk about. We can talk about Sol a little bit, but yeah, I guess this is my idea. That's true. A while ago. Still pretty confident this is a diagonal here, though. Honestly. And this is just a giant corrective phase. Yeah. Yeah, I wish that. I wish that. I think it's going to be a B wave because how much time, it took a lot of time. That's like a very drastic amount of time for a wave 2. So I'm saying A to B to C. But I'm pretty sure that Sol is going to be breaking the high at 47.42. Invalid if we start trading below 38. I'll say roughly 38. One may argue maybe 39. But 38 for sure. Below 38, I'm bearish. Not bearish, but I would have to reconsider some things on Sol and throw some other charts out. What for now, I really think this is 1 consolidation 2 or A and consolidation B, and now we're in C wave or wave 3. So I'm thinking Sol's a very good opportunity to be getting into, especially since we're still underneath the highs of this range. All right. I guess we didn't really go too in depth with Sol. I kind of fucked up on. I guess we should stay consistent. Make sure. But I did this a while ago. And to me, this looks like a very fucking clean and clear impulse. Like that's a triangle. Can't fool me. That's a triangle. So it's either an A, B, C, but I think it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Deep retrace, ABC, zigzag. So, opens up the door for a few things. Since it's a 3-way pattern, we're going to have a B wave. Or it could be an actual breakout. This is wave 3. Oh, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. So, the opportunity and the risk of not being in the market at these lows for Sol and then coming in later is kind of ridiculous. Because if this does turn into the B wave, and not the wave 3 that we want it to be, and it is the B wave, then it goes A, B, C, that's A wave. Well, guess what? You're going to have a correction. And then if it's going to be a B wave, you anticipate at least a 1-to-1, which is already marked right there. If it's going to be an X wave, it'll be in this high point here, which looks like on track, right? So, opportunity to get in later in this range here is very risky because if this turns into a W, X, Y, well, guess what? You just bought the top. And what if it turns into an ABC? A, B, C. Well, you bought the top. By the time it gets here, you'd be very scared. And it pops up a little bit. You're gonna get out. And then it breaks that high, and guess what? You're left chasing again. So that's another thing. That's the thing about Elliott Wave. It tells you when the market is at the most opportunistic time to enter. It does not tell you that hey, make this trade. It doesn't tell you that hey, this is gonna happen for sure. It does not tell you that. What it tells you is that logically speaking, when is it the best time to enter the market and exit the market? To me, it makes more sense for to enter at points like this. Sol looks good. The opportunity to come in later after you get more confirmation is risky. Because if it turns into an X wave, you buy the top or very little. or it turns into a B wave where he's still by the top of the initial A wave, and then you get chopped up in B wave, and then it just gets you all fucked up in the head. And by the time C wave gets around, you're gonna be so lost and oblivious to everything that's going on that you're gonna miss the entire move, and then you're gonna be left chasing again. The entire cycle starts again. Or it could be wave 4 on another low. Yeah, we could argue. Um, 1, 2, 3, 4. We can. The reason why I'm saying I hold this idea is because like the fact that Ethereum made 5 up and all that stuff makes me believe that we're gonna hold this area for a longer time than a wave 4 would do, or be logical. Extension wise and stuff like that, though, that wave 4 works very well. I'll take it from there, honestly. Well, we only hit a 1382 here on Sol for an extension, which is typically what you look for an ABC, not a impulse. Impulse usually go for further, but again, it could be the case that wave 5 is the extension. This is just like a weird 4, and then this is an extension like this, right? There's some criteria that must be held. Channeling stuff, all those rules, so 0 to 2 to 1, 1, oh shit, 1 to 3 to 2. So this is going to be wave 4. Typically you would not see it break this boundary right here. Or if you do see it break this boundary, it'd be very, very briefly. Be very briefly. Let's go. And then stuck right back in there. We obviously know our validation will be 75-30, 75-40. I'd argue pushing above 60 would be my validation. Because typically, good rule of thumb for wave 4 correction phases, they usually go back into wave 4 of 1 extra degree, and that's the reversal point. So if this is truly 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is 5, well, this 4 should find a stop or high in this range here. Don't look bad, but I would like to say, like, dude, everything had bled like 90% around the world. Like, I know we bounced up a pretty good amount, but like, damn, like we've bled and fell so far, so fast. Like, if we keep going at this rate, we'll be at fucking nothing in a matter of no time. I just don't think that's gonna happen immediately. I think they're gonna make us. They're gonna need us to get really confident in a system and get us sucked in, get our money involved again, so they can take our money away from us again. That's what they want to do, but they can't do that unless they get our confidence back. And I don't think that allowing us to just fucking die, continuing to die, is going to allow for that. So I do like that idea, but we have to see something. For me, the hard point that I understand for Sol, I mean, 38, below 38, bearish. I think I would want to see a rally though. Out of here, like this. Alright, my friend. Any questions? Well, it's just you, my bud. It's just you, me and you. It's my fault. I don't schedule these enough. I just kind of just randomly pop up and like, hey, do a live stream. Come on. I need to be more unscheduled in my live streams. I will. Reversal from June lows. Yeah. Oh no, SPX definitely does. That's what I've been watching for sure. Oh, not the SPX. Even the ES, dude. Even ES does. Oh, I guess that's SPX. Fuck, I'm stupid. My anticipation that we're gonna move up. I was on a live stream with Cobra, and then he was thinking that this was gonna be a top. Like, dude, we're missing a wave here. And look, wave 5 extended. One, two. This little thing is funky here, right? That's a correction, right? That's a correction phase. One, two, three. Oh. I think this could be a completed 3 as well. I'm talking about on ES. I don't like that right there. Like 3-way pattern, you think? Yeah, that's what it looks like to me. And this here, from this high to here, definitely looks like 3. Weird funky A, B. This pattern here is so hard, man. This is actually a triangle, believe it or not. Let me show you. Let me see if I can find the picture of that exact pattern. I just saw it actually in here somewhere. Or is it not? Did I not put it in here? I definitely read it in the book. I definitely remember seeing it. Where are you? Dang it. It's in Glenn Neely's book, though. It's in his book. It is definitely in his book. 100%. That's where I read it. I definitely remember that. Typically, that is in a Y wave rather than a B wave or an X wave, but... Oh, that could be an X wave. It could be an X wave. Because it does take a little, like a short amount of time compared to everything else. We restarted that, but I want to find the quote real quick because I want to make sure. I know I'm not lying. I remember seeing it like, for sure. See if I can fucking. been a while, good old book. It's been a while. This book is I love it though. This book is so fun. This is a really good, cool one. This shit is so complex right here. It's not really worth your time, honestly, that part. A lot of this stuff, like, so complex, is not really worth it because it makes it a little more difficult to understand. But his pattern, his breakdown of the pattern, time, and structure is absolutely second to none. Except that he focuses too much on rules, and it tends to make it difficult. I think it's the very end. The pattern's the very end. Such a large book. I think we're gonna find it. I'm gonna reread this last bit of it though. Oh, there we are. This fucking thing. Look at it. Ah! Here we are. Found her. Look at it. Look at it. In all its glory. Yeah, me too, dude. Only the 1/3 rule. Basically, yeah, literally, only his time rule. Which, to me, that was the biggest thing he ever fucking figured out. And this, I mean, this pattern too. I'm aware of this pattern now, but it's so hard. It's literally so hard. You think this is 1, 2, you think this is 1, and then 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and you got 4, 5 in here, and then it ends up being like so. It's very difficult though. Very difficult. But yeah, it's part of his complex patterns. Oh, you dirty fucker. But yeah, pretty sure that's what that was. That's what it looks like. Oh yes, for sure that pattern, Nick. For sure. For sure. Oh yeah, bud. There's a key right there. False prayer. Boom. But yeah, so I think that's an X wave, something like that. Makes sense, or B wave. Mostly more like an X wave, but I think it's a B wave because this was kind of impulsive here. So A, B, C, W, X, Y, A. Yeah, it has to be W, X, Y. So what if you take 3? Does work. It does work, man. It does work. A to B, X throws over. X throws over. Y and W share similarity in time. They're relating within a 1-to-1 roughly. Here's the max amount you would assume for a Y to a W within their range. X wave, very harsh, drastic, breaks the trend line, gets people sucked in. These looks like 3-way patterns. This looks like an ABC to me though. ABC is only two ways that to mimic each other in time. One's drastically different. It looks like B and C are similar in time, and A was very different. Same thing with this one. Right now, this is taking like a lot of similarity, a lot of like what do you call it? Symmetry. I think it takes a little bit of time. Takes over an amount of time, so that's a valid B wave. And it's taking more. Okay, so yeah, this is valid. This is good. Like A and B look too similar, but they're actually not. B wave takes more time than A, and it takes over the time, over the amount of a 1-to-1, by a long shot. It goes almost 2 times the amount of time. And wave B and C seem to be very similar in time right now, which is again what you anticipate in this structure. I'm wondering is this going to turn into this though, because this is kind of funky here. It's kind of funky here. All right, so if this is going to be a long ways to go. I think we're going to definitely be correcting here for a while. Just the way we react off the lows. So it could be an X wave, and we could hit this amount of time, but we have to overthrow this trend line. I just don't think that's going to happen right now. We don't have enough juice this first time around. So this is probably going to end up being a complex range in here. This trend line will get broken. Probably hold like right here or something. Right there. Some weird ass B wave in here. And then overthrow this, and then we can consider it down. But yeah, I think we put in a pretty significant low across the board on everything. And time, speaking of time, an X wave doesn't make sense right now. And this does not look like an impulse, so it can't be a 1-2. So we're more likely in an AB or a WX, and we have to wait for more stuff to develop. But alright, my friends, thank you for tuning in. This is early morning edition. We streamed for about an hour and a half. That's exactly what I wanted to do. Hour and a half. We always want to keep it to. Until next time, we're trying to stream on. I'm trying to think what's better, Monday or. Definitely Tuesday with Cobra. Definitely Thursday with Cobra. We'll try to stick to that schedule for now on, okay? Tuesdays and Thursdays with Cobra. And then every end of the month, I'll do one of these. Either on a Friday or on a Sunday at the end of the month. One of a higher time frame. Really get into like rules, fib counts, time rules, all that stuff. Because the majority of that's just analysis. That's not how I trade necessarily. Alleyway obviously plays a heavy role in how I trade. Damn, son. Talk about a wipeout. Yeah, what I was thinking, like, we're just in a weird ass fucking corrective phase of the downside right now. Taking a little bit too much time. I think it's gonna go like this. Just chop us down. Get everybody all laxated, go lethargic, and then move up finally. Not that long, obviously. I don't think it's gonna take that long. Don't think it's gonna take that long. It has to take lesser time than this corrective phase here. It can't hold a relationship in time to this one here. So that's gonna be the case. We have a max amount of time to adhere to. I honestly think it's gonna be that stupid long. We're not gonna get an extension, and we're gonna be in a giant like B wave or something. I think so. I think too many people are hopeful that we're going to extend very heavily, and we're just not going to do it. This high here is going to get protected, and we're just going to correct forever and ever and ever. So, once we start correcting, if we start making more lows after this vertical line, I'm going to be very wary on the bullish expansion, and I'll be on the idea that we're now correcting a 1 through 5, and A wave or wave 1 is done. Like that. Either B wave or wave 2, whatever. Regardless, if we start making new lows after this vertical line, I'm going to think this idea, okay? Alright, catch you guys. Just for your links in the description, okay. Oh shit, really? That's weird. I wonder why. I'm curious now. I'll check that out. It should send you right to, it should have been, that link should be this link here. It should be this one, but I'll double check that. Okay, this is where it should take you. But I'll double check that. Thank you for bringing that up to me. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, again, I think that's pretty. I think it's gonna happen, man. It just looks like it. Taking too much time up here. We'll see. All right, catch me on Tuesday. All right, with Cobra. That's so weird. That's so weird that if you copy it, that's what it does. That is so weird. But if you click it, it goes to... That's so strange. I'm just going to delete it. There's no point to being there anyways. You can just follow me to my Twitter and go through it that way. Thank you for being on up, CJ. I appreciate you, brother. Again, catch me on Tuesday. I don't know what time he usually... I think it's like at 6 p.m. My time. So, Tuesday, Mountain Center time with Cobra. We'll get that shit popping. And then I'll decide if I want to start running like a morning scalp session or something like that. I don't know. We'll see. That's a pretty aggressive sell right. That's an X wave if you're talking about one right there, bud. That's an X wave right there, bud. WX. Looks like I took too little time though, so I can see us being here for a little bit more time. I can see this stupid ass pattern happening today. It's Friday. Take your time off. Take something like this. Alright, okay, sorry guys. Tuesday, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I'll tell you guys if that time changes or anything changes from that. Till then, this has been a pleasure. Thank you for tuning in. I know, right? This looks fucking. This is a crazy ass fucking. Oh yeah, running flat makes more sense, bud. You're right. But I'm taking down in the midterm. See y'all Tuesday. This has been your boy, Toshi motherfucking heavy. Peace the fuck out.